How's it going, everybody? Just an update on the markets and where Bitcoin is sitting right now, and has alt season started? And I think there's an opportunity here to suggest that alt season is very, very close or very, very near. And this level that we've ascended to on the Bitcoin dominance, sorry, the Tether dominance, could be near the low for the dominant structure here, and it might come back to retest this high for the final push of the bull market. Otherwise, there is some room down here to move still, possibly before going back up. However, let's go into Bitcoin dominance and have a look at where the dominance has pivoted. And I've been watching this very acutely, just so I can make this video. And it's pivoted at the range. Let me delete some things. The range 0.618, right? And that is sort of the expected level, generally, to see a pivot within the actual structure of most price action. And if you zoom out, we did the same thing on the wider range for the initial impulse wave of the altcoin market. Now, let's go to the Tau BTC chart, and I did mention this on my Twitter, Down Bad Capital, if you are curious. I don't really post them there, but I circled out the fact that there's a massive channel that's been created by the Bitcoin and Tau chart, or USDT pair, and there's a bounce off the bottom, or potential bounce off the bottom, that has confluence with the Bitcoin dominance, pivoting at that 0.618 area. Not only that, the structure is very reminiscent of, let's go to ADA, around the same sort of time in the market. Let me adjust this screen so you guys can see. Around the same time on the market here. So I will circle the area that I'm looking at on the right side in ADA BTC, and where Bitcoin starts to bounce against Tau. So you see the accumulation range, the initial impulse, and the correction before the major impulse wave. Right, there isn't much data here to go back on other than a support line that does this, which is sort of similar to this larger support line for Tau BTC. Cool. What am I trying to say here? So what I'm trying to say is that now is probably a good time to start putting or looking to put risk on altcoins, right? So I'll go back to draw parallels, because this is a very similar chart to what we're experiencing right now in Tau, with ADA, same timing, prior cycle, so prior bull market. Let's have a look at both of the price structures, and I'll overlay this after as well. I do believe that in the circled area for ADA is where we are at for Tau. And this is corresponding with the BTC dominance chart, potentially pivoting, and the Tau BTC chart at the support, and where we are in the market, where BTC has ascended quite substantially, allowing for more liquidity to potentially be rotated into altcoins. And people might be saying, oh, well, fucking the ETF holders aren't going to be rotating. That's true. However, at the moment, the actual ETF holders probably won't be dumping either. So they're going to be creating a very stable price, or more stable price, for Bitcoin to be held when these rotations are occurring. So it's a different environment, but I think the actual dynamics of liquidity moving around into altcoins still remains the same. So now I think that's sort of it. I don't I don't know if there's anything much to say other than now would be a good time. What other potential risks are there actually? I'm gonna go through quickly a Bitcoin chart and show potential risks that I see at the moment. And this is how I've measured out these previous moves, because this move in Bitcoin over here is similar to this and similar to sort of like this, right? Where there's like a upward accumulation before the price starts to break down. And how far can we target in terms of the breakdown, right? Let's go to a spot price action chart. Cool. Sweet. And I'll draw the fibs. I think this is the correct one. Perfect. Perfect. And the wave that starts this one. Perfect. As you can see from all of the previous moves that kind of end within this ascending accumulation, the actual price action comes back down to at least the 2618 after touching in between 4236 and 4618, right? 4236 and 4618. And it comes down to that 2618 area. So what does that 2618 area look like for us right now? And the potential downside, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but something worth considering. I'll explain why this potentially is less likely, but should the price break down, that is the area to be looking for the base of the market to sit and bounce from, right? And why am I saying that the price action might not do that? I guess in terms of, the seasonality of things, and December's generally close much more positive. And at the moment, the altcoins look like they're going to have their move up. So moving down aggressively on Bitcoin seems unlikely. And in terms of positioning, I guess the best way to put it is you'd be somewhat risk on with stops. However, being completely risk on here is ignoring the fact that the possibility of going down here and the US DT or tether dominance not being able to go down here, which is also possible, right, before actually doing its rise. So there's two sides of the coin here where it's possible to go back down, but it's also possible for things to continue up. Being somewhat exposed is now, a viable thing to be doing, but, you know, enable yourself to be stopped out and looking for another entry should it appear at a lower price. That's sort of it, guys. Hopefully that's been helpful. Cheers.